Welcome back to Sports Day, right across country Victoria, southern New South Wales, over into Broken Hill, down into Tasmania. It would appear, Plough, at least for the first couple of weeks, that Carlton has an embarrassment of big man riches and a stack of options through the ruck and up forward. Part of that wonderful option and wonderful dilemma for Carlton to have is one of their star big men in Robbie Warnock, who joins us now. Tony Leonard with Terry Wallace. Robbie, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
All right, thanks for having me.
You had your first hit out on the weekend. How's the body feel after playing on a ground that was described as rolled green concrete?
Yeah, no, body feels all right. I played about 35% game time, so it wasn't as much as the other boys. So it's still good to get out there and get a bit of match fitness under the belt and move on to this next week coming.
And we'll be talking about what's happening with you and obviously the team, but Eddie has become a bit of a topic over the last couple of weeks. From your point of view, did you feel confident, putting your feet out, having the run around? Did the surface feel good or did it feel harder than it normally would?
I think all grounds probably feel a little bit hard this time of year in summer, but no, I didn't have any issues with the thickness of the surface, so to speak. I suppose once you're out there, you got so much going through your head that that's not really in the forefront of your mind. So no, I didn't find any issues with it.
Robbie, we know it's only pre-season and we can't read too much into it, but the players must be very pleased about how things are developing for your football club as it's going along. I mean, it was a remarkable performance on the weekend to be 66-9 up against the finalists from last year. A lot of things were done right.
Yeah, it was. It was, as I said before, I'd been in the game time, so I had the luxury to watch the boys play pretty well early. So, obviously, you always want to be winning games of footy, and that makes life a lot easier. So that's always a bonus, but at the same time, it is NAB Cup and round 2 NAB Cup. So, you look at last year, and it wasn't NAB Cup, but in the season we started pretty strong, and then you flip over to the end of the year until we're finished. So it's it's a pretty long season. So it's great to be winning. Don't get me wrong, but I would have kept things in perspective as well, and realise it is a long year.
One thing that does look good is having most of your players fit and available. We know how many games were lost last year to top-line players, and it's just tough in this even environment to be able to play like that. You seem to have most guys up and running.
Yeah, we do. So we didn't have a whole lot of blokes have off-season surgery, which was great. So that means they could get a fair chunk of working over the pre-season, and as I said before, it's a long season, so it's a marathon. So the more blokes you can have fit, the deeper your talent kind of runs. So to have everyone up and running is pretty crucial to winning games of footy and consistently doing that. So at the moment we have that, and and everyone's pretty fit.
Robbie, 2 weeks ago, Michael Malthouse in a post-game interview was asked, were there things that he didn't like that you'd done in that sort of the round-robin competition? And he said, we would be here until round 1 telling you what went wrong. So obviously in the space of a week or so, a lot has gone right. What are the non-negotiables with Mick?
Mick's got a pretty well set criteria of what he wants the kids to do. Non-negotiables. Just play to his structure, basically. Probably doesn't matter whether you're a name or a rookie league player or Chris Judd. I think just he's got roles that he wants you to play and play in those parameters. And as I said before, it doesn't matter who you are. He expects that to be done. So it's pretty good from a playing point of view that you know that if you go out there and play the role, then you get rewarded for doing that. So but that's probably non-negotiables.
Yeah, and you talk about the structure. Are the structures more clearly defined than, say, under Brett over the last few years?
It's probably different. So it's probably a different game plan. I just would agree. So I don't think the structures are different. I don't know really much more to say on that. It's probably just a different game plan, which, and we're still getting used to that in regards to what you said before. Mick said we could be here until round 1 talking about what we did wrong. So, we're also learning that along the way, and week by week, hopefully we're getting better at it.
Robbie, has the coach spoken to you about how he sees the best structure? Because from an outsider's point of view, you sit back and have a look at your team at the moment, and it is difficult to sort of work out who's going to get in and who's going to fill the spots, both as key forwards and the ruck roles. Has he been specific, or is it just who's in form come round one is going to get the spots?
Yeah, I'd say probably who's in form come round one will get the spots. I mean, it's not just the talls up forward, your smalls up forward, your back. There's a lot of healthy competition at the club at the moment. So, people were saying last year we probably lacked a little bit in the key position department, but a lot of that was to do with injuries. Now everyone's saying there's a lot of competition for spots. So, I think it'll come back down to who's in form. In the areas we spoke about, the forwards and the ruck, but it's all over the ground. We've got a lot of blokes vying for back six positions, and also a lot of smalls up forward rotating through the mid, so it's a good position to be in.
And your own role, I know Mick is very, very keen on first hands on the ball around the stoppages. He went and got Darren Jolly, obviously, from Sydney when he was at Collingwood. I had a look at your practice match a few weeks ago, and you played a major role in the practice match at Fizzy Park as really the number one ruckman. Do you get a sense that position will be open and available for you?
Yeah, I suppose it is. If form warrants it, then yeah, I suppose it definitely is. I think you're right, Mick. That's great, getting first hands on the ball, and stoppages are obviously a massive part of the game. So if you can have an advantage there and get the ball going our way, then it's definitely a big help for us winning games of footy. So definitely a spot there, and whoever's in form will take that mantle. 23
rounds, it's a long journey, a marathon journey, as we know, but for Carlton and Richmond fans, round one just has so much. It almost seems like it's bigger than 4 points. You're looking forward to going back to the G and playing in that one again?
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to start the year on a big note with a big crowd. Weather's usually good that time of year, so to get in front of there and hopefully kick the year off on a good note. I always, as I said before, winning form's good form. So we've had the luxury over the last few years to be doing that, and hopefully we can do it again this year. So it's always good. We play good footy at the G, and hopefully that continues.
Rob, if you picked out a couple of players that you really believe have stepped up over the summer, they might have been players that were just outside of the team last year that you think will come into the team, or a player that's been in the team but he's taken a quantum leap in performance, who would be a couple that you just think have had a really outstanding summer?
There's no one really springs to mind. There's a lot of blokes that performed really well over pre-season. Simon White performed really well over pre-season. Jeremy Laidler's back. I don't think it was probably spoken about much in the media, but I reckon he's extremely important to our structures. So to miss him throughout last year and have him fitting up and going now is really crucial. And a lot of guys have just got a bit fitter, a bit stronger. So it's that natural progression of everyone improving. And hopefully that equates to some good wins.
Captaincy still to be determined. Have you got a personal view?
No. There's obviously a lot of good candidates there. I'd say probably narrowed down either Cade Simpson, Mark Murphy, or Andy Carazzo. And obviously Jared Wade and Nick Duggan are also chances. But I think any one of those blokes will do a fantastic job. So that's up to Mick and the coaching staff to determine. We've put our vote forward on the leadership group, so it's their call from now on. But any one of those guys will do a good job, I'm sure.
Now that you actually, and thanks for joining us tonight, just a couple of finish up, but now you've actually got to be part of Michael Malthouse's structures and his beliefs and his disciplines. Have you changed a view on what you thought he might be like? And in fact, what is he like away from that sort of rigid football structure?
Yeah, Mick's I think Mick's a pretty well-rounded person. He's got very good life balance. I reckon. Obviously, once you're at work, you're there to work. But he's got a good balance of things to do outside of footy, family time, keeping the mind fresh, the body fresh. So he has a bit of a joke here and there, which is good too. So I think he's probably not surprised that he comes across as a little bit intimidating, a little bit daunting in the media, but he's a very approachable guy, and he's very well rounded. So it's all been great with Mick so far. Having
worked with him for a year last year in the media, that's absolutely bang on. What you think he is and what he's like are two entirely different things. Final one though, Has anyone been given the finger and asked to come and stand alongside him in front of the group while something needed to be pointed out?
No, not as yet. So I'm not sure whether that will happen or not. But not as yet. We're only a few games in, so
It'll happen.
yeah, I'm sure it probably will. But yeah, luckily no one as yet. So fingers crossed. If in an ideal world, that won't be happening. So no, I hope I'm not the one that gets it either.
Oh, yes. Believe me, being part of the media that's had the laser before, it is a very unpleasant thing. Hey, Robbie, thanks very much for joining us. And the last one too, I know we touched on Eddie had before, but you've got no issues really with it at the moment?
No, not at all. I mean, as I said before, the grounds in general are probably a little bit harder this time of year, being summer, and a little bit less water and that kind of thing. But no, I think at the point to get out there, you've got so much going through your head that's the last thing you think about. So yeah, no problem from my point of view.
Terrific, Robbie. Thanks very much for joining us this evening.
No worries, good on you. Thanks, guys.